Hello everyone, thank you all for tuning into today's case. Today's case is going to be on Noreen Greenley. In September 1963, Noreen Greenley was a sparkling 13-year-old. She lived in Bowmanville, Ontario with her 4 brothers, 2 sisters, and parents Harvey and Nadine. Noreen was a well-rounded teenager who enjoyed school as well as playing sports, including baseball, skating, swimming, bowling, and horseback riding. She also had fun baking, cooking, and sewing. Noreen was an excellent singer. Her 2 favorite songs were Puff the Magic Dragon and Lemon Tree. And for pocket money, even though she was only 13 years old, Noreen took on extra responsibility and worked at a gas station in town. Noreen liked hanging out with her friends and loved family time. In fact, she often cared for her siblings. She was said to be like a mother to them and looked after all their needs. On the evening of Saturday, September 14th, 1963, Noreen went bowling at Liberty Bowl on Baseline Road with her best friend Bonnie Wilkins and Bonnie's new boyfriend Gary Woolner. After they were done bowling, the trio headed to Sam's Restaurant, a popular local hangout, for a bite to eat. Eventually, they ended up at Bonnie's house at the corner of Waverly Road and King Street. Bonnie and Gary wanted some alone time, so Noreen said her goodbyes and went to wait for the 11:35 p.m. westbound bus that would take her home. The bus stop was just steps from Bonnie's house. Shortly after 11 p.m., after waiting only a few minutes in the cold night air, Noreen ran back across the street to tell her friend she was cold. Bonnie offered Noreen a coat, which she refused, and Noreen resigned herself to waiting back at the bus stop. Sometime between 11 p.m. and 11:15 p.m., William Pauley drove by the bus stop. He had his wife, daughter, and mother with him, and they were on the way to drop his mother off at her place on Waverly Road. Pauley noticed a young girl waiting at the bus stop as they passed, but didn't think much of it. At 11:35 p.m., the bus arrived at its scheduled stop, but Noreen was not there. When she failed to return home, her father reported her missing, and a massive search effort began. For 8 days after Noreen vanished, more than 1,000 searchers searched the area. Tracking dogs were used, ponds were drained, and an aerial search was conducted, but there was no sign of Noreen. The police interviewed Noreen's family, friends, and acquaintances. Also, the mayor of Bowmanville, Ivan Hobbs, pledged a $1,000 reward for information on the case. William Pauley, the man who initially saw Noreen at the bus stop, saw something else when he passed Noreen again on the way back to his house after dropping his mother off. He told authorities he saw the same girl get into a blue 1957-58 Ford Prefect car. The car was either extremely well kept or recently painted. Pauley said the car was driven by a man wearing a black hat, and it traveled westbound in the direction of Noreen's home. This same type of car was later seen by Noreen's sister Joyce and her friend while they were waiting for Noreen to get off the bus by her house. They said the prefect weaved towards them, almost hitting them, and they could hear a girl screaming from inside the vehicle as it barreled out of sight, traveling north down Holt Road. Joyce was positive the girl she heard screaming was Noreen. She ran home and told her dad Harvey and her brother about what happened. They frantically drove around the neighborhood trying to find the car, but it was long gone. Harvey returned home and called Noreen's friend Bobby, but she did not know where his daughter was. To her knowledge, Noreen had taken the bus home. It was at this point Harvey contacted the police and reported Noreen missing. Authorities documented that Joyce and her friend heard Noreen scream from the passing car, but they said that since she was not actually seen in the vehicle, it was unclear who was screaming. In fact, police seemed to doubt if the incident even happened at all, and as a result, it was not initially released to the media. But there is potentially much more to this incident than the authorities originally thought. The vehicle Joyce and her friend described hearing Noreen screaming from matches the make and model of the car Pauley witnessed Noreen hop into at the bus stop. And when Joyce and her friend first spoke of the incident, they likely knew nothing about the Pauley vehicle sighting. After Noreen disappeared, her family fell apart. Noreen's mother, Nadine, took the loss of her daughter especially hard, telling the media it was like a living hell. Not knowing what happened to Noreen, she set a place at the dinner table every night for Noreen and celebrated each and every one of her birthdays. Shelley, Noreen's sister, said the disappearance turned my mother into an alcoholic. She fell into the bottom of the bottle and never came out. Shelley also shared that her father became consumed with the search of his missing daughter and died of an aneurysm. As a result, Noreen's younger siblings were split up and placed into a foster care permanently, changing their lives. Shelley said Noreen's disappearance just destroyed our family for generations. It's been hell, not knowing. We want to bring her home. We want anybody who knows anything. There's a hope, we hope. Before Noreen's mother died, her children promised her they would keep looking for Noreen. And although more than half a century has passed since Noreen vanished, her family has kept their promise. In 2015, an age progression sketch was released to the public with the hopes it would spark new leads. With no luck, Noreen remains missing to this day. This case is honestly really creepy and unpredictable, and she was so young, and it's honestly just so heartbreaking seeing that how after she went missing, everything fell apart. And I just really hope that one day, like all the stories I tell, I hope that the family gets some kind of closure, some kind of justice, something. Thank you all for listening to today's video.